Hi, my name is not Evelyn, you can call me Anna. Since it is November, I really wanted to do a NaNoWriMo tag video, so I went looking and I found one that's done by Christina Warner. I really loved the questions and it just seemed right, so I'm going to be doing that tag, so nobody's tagged me, but I'm doing it, who cares? So if you want to check out Christina's original video, the link is down in the description. Question number 1 is, how many times have you done NaNoWriMo? I have done NaNoWriMo 7 times, and this year is my 8th time. That's not counting Camp NaNoWriMo, which happens in a different month. If I was to count Camp NaNoWriMo as well, I think I've maybe just done camp twice, so it'd probably just be like 10, maybe 10 total, including the camps and stuff. Question number 2 is, how did you first find out about NaNoWriMo? I have 2 older sisters and we are all actually writers. We love writing. So I found out about NaNoWriMo because my older sister was doing it. She found out somehow online somewhere, and she basically said to me and my other sister, hey, you guys should join in and do it. So that was in 2009, and I actually completed the story, though it's kind of embarrassing to look back on because it was just really, I was a lot younger then. Just, I don't know. My main character could turn into a bat. It was pretty cool. It's just the plot was a little bit weak, and the love interest was not that great. Question number 3 is, what was the name of the first novel you attempted with Nano? This is actually the one I just mentioned, because when I first did NaNoWriMo, I did finish it. I did reach 50,000 words, and I named it, surprisingly, because often I don't actually name my stories. I like to wait until they're all finished and like I know everything about them before giving them a name that kind of sums it up, right? But with this one, because I did complete it, I gave it a name and I called it Chiroptera. I haven't looked at this in ages, but if my memory serves me correctly, it's basically like a technical term for a bat, something like that. So I named my novel Bats. Question number 4 is, give us a 1-sentence summary of what you're writing this year. I am technically a nano rebel now because I started writing one idea, then started writing a different idea, then gave up and started writing a different idea. So my 3rd idea, which I'm writing right now, I guess I'll give you, I have no idea where it's going so far, but I guess a little bit of a summary would be, following the death of her father, the main character and her cat have to work out how to live without him because she loved her dad and the cat loved her dad too. Cats love people. This is terrible. Question number 5 is, what's the best writing advice you've ever been given? It's a really close tie between 2 things. One I've actually made a video on, which is my top writing tips, something. It's called something like that, in which I talk about the fact that you should never delete anything. That is such a good, like, it's not really to do with like the actual process of writing, but it is such a good tip because for future, when you want to write something, you can look back on what you've done. Seriously, just never delete anything. I'm so passionate about that. I don't know why, I just am. Even people I don't know, I'm just like, don't delete. The other really good tip that I've been told, and I think this was probably from one of my sisters, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. Before I actually started doing NaNoWriMo, I would always get caught up in writing things and getting them perfect. You know, I'd write one chapter and then I'd go over it and I'd never get anywhere, right? Because I'm just working on this one thing. Whereas if you just write and let your characters play, then you're gonna find out a lot more about them anyway, and then that's gonna be better in the long run. So question number 6 is, did you ever take a year off from Nano, and why? I have not ever taken a year off Nano. NaNoWriMo is just like, I don't know. I love it. It's the best motivational thing ever. I love writing so much, so I feel like I always have like these ideas in my head and I never get to writing them, but NaNoWriMo makes me sit down and write. So I really like that excuse. And I just, the atmosphere of NaNoWriMo, I would not give that up. Question number 7 is, what's your biggest inspiration when figuring out what to write? I read a lot, so I think I just steal inspiration from everything that I am absorbing. Obviously, this is a booktube channel. If you've just clicked on my video because you like NaNoWriMo, I actually have a booktube channel where I read books. That's why I film my videos in front of my bookshelf, because it kind of gives the atmosphere and people like it. They like seeing bookshelves. I do too. I really like looking at bookshelves. So I read so much and I just take things from that. I get inspired from that. You know, sometimes I'll read something and I won't like it, but like there just might be even an idea in the bad novel that I read which is good and I could tweak it. So, you know, it's just a whole mixture of things. Some of it would definitely be from real life, but yeah, I think it's just kind of overall everything that I am exposed to in life. So real life, books, movies, TV shows, anything that I am kind of taking in inspires me for what I want to write. Question number 8 is, read us the first sentence from one of your novels. So I'm going to actually read you the first 2 sentences because the first one is really, really short, from my novel that I wrote last year for NaNoWriMo. It's 3 AM and I'm awake. I'm staring at the ceiling, contemplating the day ahead of me and everything that's going to happen. Aren't you intrigued? I need to finish that story. And lastly, question number 9 is, why do you love writing? I feel like this is a really hard question to answer. Part of it is just because I've always written and I don't know what life would be like without, you know, working on something. As far back as I can remember, I've always been writing something. I think the very first story I ever started with was a Stargate fan fiction. You can ask my sisters because I got them to read it. Everyone else was writing stuff and I wanted to join in, so I wrote this Stargate fan fiction about how they all got sucked into a wormhole and died. It was a little bit depressing, but you can't always have cheery novels. The other reason that I love writing might come as a surprise to you, since I have a YouTube channel and you're watching it right now, but I am not good at talking to people. I feel like it's harder to get my point across verbally than it is to write things down. So when I think about it, I probably should have just started a blog, but you know. Get out of your comfort zone! So I love writing because I feel like it's so much easier to express myself with the written word. Yeah, and I mean, I have such a passion for reading as well, and I just kind of really would like to get a book published eventually as well. Because yeah, I read so much and I would love to kind of contribute and to share my stories with the world as well. So that's why I feel like that's a terrible answer. I feel like there's so much more to it. I love writing for so much more, but those are the main reasons I can think of. So those are all of the questions. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Also, if you're interested to find out more about my NaNoWriMo journey this month, I've been doing a NaNoWriMo vlog, so you can click here to view the week 1 of my NaNoWriMo journey. And if you've already seen that, you can click here to view week 2, because week 2 has happened and now we're starting week 3. Also, feel free to check out my stats page. I'll put the link in the description there as well. And if you are participating in NaNoWriMo, feel free to add me as a buddy on the website. The link to my profile is in the description. Ciao for now, monkeys!